Hi there, it's Kristen with Shifting Roots, and today we're making chokecherry jelly that actually gels. Once our berries are all picked, we're gonna wash everything in a strainer. All the washed berries get dumped into the colander. And make sure you pick out any little leaves that might have ended up in there. Now that our strainer is full of the chokecherries, we're gonna fill up the steamer portion full with water. It's really important to fill it up all the way and as it's steaming to constantly check on the levels. To set up our steamer, we're gonna start with the tray of water on first, then the main bucket where the juice is collected, our strainer full of chokecherries, and finally, the lid. You wanna make sure that this clamp here, even though on the tube it's clamped really tightly, you wanna make sure that it's still up because once the juice gets going, it can fall through onto the floor, even with the clamp, and it's not a fun mess to clean up. Finally, we turn on the stove and we wait for about 60 minutes. After about 30 minutes, you can see that juice is starting to finally collect. So it's about an hour to 90 minutes later, and our juice is done boiling in the steamer, and I have my pot ready to collect. Now it's time to let the juice go from the clamp. We've actually let it rest for a little bit so that it doesn't steam out so much because it's very, very hot. To make the jam, I've measured out 4 cups of the chokecherry juice, 6 cups of sugar, yes, 6, and finally 2 packages of 57-gram pectin. I'm also adding in about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So now we're gonna stir this and let it boil. So the jelly is boiled for 5 minutes, and now I'm just taking off as much of this scummy stuff as I can, and then we're gonna pour it into sterilized jars right away. So I filled the jars up, leaving about 1/4 inch of headspace, and I'm just gonna fill my last jar. So this is the jar with 1/4 headspace. Headspace is the spot where the jelly comes up to the top of the jar. And if I have any little spills on the jar, then I would just wipe those with a clean cloth. So this little bit is the leftover parts of the jam. We didn't have enough of our mixture to totally fill it up, and this jar isn't sterilized. So if this happens to you have a little bit left over, just put it in an unsterilized jar, let it cool for a bit, put the lid on, and you can put it in the fridge. Then once it's gelled, you can use it just as regular jam. When you're making jam, the dishes are really terrible ones, so make sure that you wash and soak everything as soon as possible. So now they've been boiling for 10 minutes, and we're removing them from the water. So you'll know they're done when they pop. You can see this one, the seal already went down. These ones, the seal isn't down yet, but they should snap in a couple of minutes to a couple of hours. Oh, there's another one. And here's the final product. Beautiful jelly that's actually set up and will spread really nice on the bread. For more information, check out my blog post on chokecherry jelly, or you can watch some of my other videos on how to can, especially if this is your first jar of jam.